Hi everyone, it's great to see you. I'm out here with my new conifer and Japanese maple garden, and today we're going to be adding the moss. So if you remember, I had ordered 3 bags of moss from TN Nursery, and it came beautifully. It came almost 2 weeks ago, which was a lot longer of a wait to put this down than I had planned. So of course, in my excitement, I had opened up all the bags, so I had to add some water, reseal them, keep them inside. I think the moss looks great though, so I'm going to add it in and we'll see how it grows and I'll keep you posted. Now, the directions say to thoroughly saturate the ground for 30 minutes. So I put the irrigation on for 30 minutes, and you're supposed to make sure that everything is reabsorbed, so we are all set here. Now we lay down the moss. You're going to see me use landscape pins to pin it in place because we know those squirrels will turn over anything that looks interesting. And then we're going to water it again. I have the 2 types of moss here. So I have this beautiful fern moss. This gets a little bit taller, so I'm gonna put this towards the back of the garden. It also really likes the shade a bit more, so I'm gonna really make sure that this is under the trees. This is when you can tell I'm not a very patient person. Okay, there it all is. Oh, this looks great. It's still nice and moist. I can't wait to see how this is going to root in and look. Oh my goodness, this is so fabulous. Now this type of moss creates more mounding clumps of moss, but it is so soft, oh my goodness. And it really will turn green as it roots in. I'm actually gonna put some of this right inside next to my Japanese maples. I'm gonna hope that these cages really keep it safe from animals too. It's hard to know. But I am happy to tell you, after 2 weeks of sitting in the bags, this moss still looks really good. So if something happens to you and you get your moss and you need to wait, just make sure you keep it sealed and really moist. And this moss looks so healthy. It makes me want to go online and order some of the other types of moss that were available. These were listed under the easy moss to grow, so I figured probably I could handle it if I got lucky. We'll see. Oh, it just looks so pretty. I love how a garden with that green mat of moss looks. It just has that woodsy look. It makes you want to walk all around. Oh, and one of my bags is blowing away. That is okay. We're supposed to get some rain tonight too. So I think that this is going to be a lot like getting grass started in a way where you want to keep it really moist so that it has some time to really attach itself to the ground and not dry out. So note to myself and to anyone who's trying this, in the center of the bag, it did get a little drier, probably because I didn't water it as well there. So if you have to do that, make sure you keep the center really moist. Okay, that looks good for inside. And now I think around the conifers, I'm going to put the moss too. Now with the conifers, I'm not really worried about the rabbits eating them. That's why they're not fenced off here. Rabbits do not like prickly conifer needles nearly as much as they would like those nice, soft, Japanese maple leaves. However, I do think that the moss up against the conifers will look really pretty. Ooh, it looks like this might be either baby moss or a different type stuck in here. I'm all for mixing types of moss too. That always gives it a different look because of the textures. So you still have that beautiful soft look, but moss really, you can get the real low growing moss. And this is going to be such a perfect place for moss because it is so shady so much of the day. Okay, where else should I go? You're also going to see that different moss have different shades of green. And of course, if you let your moss not have enough water, different shades of brown, which is not a good sign. Some of your moss will turn a little bit more brown in the winter, and that's okay. It'll come back. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Oh yeah, there's my cute umbrella pine here. And this will act a bit like a ground cover eventually, so that is fabulous. Okay, one more bag. I actually really like how that looked. When I step back there, I can sort of picture it now with this lush green, soft feel. It's very exciting. This one here, I don't know if I mentioned it again, is called cushion moss. What an appropriate name. It looks like I'm putting down a nice soft rug in my garden. I love it. Oh, and this looks so good. I am so relieved because I know it arrived so perfectly. Oh, and you can sort of see how it mounds up in little like circular bumps of moss. I love that look. Always one of my favorite things when we go to a professional garden for a visit is to see, most gardeners have a shade area. And those people who really cultivate moss like this, I love it. I think I got that from my mom. She always let the moss grow. We had a very, very shady yard growing up, and she was all for liking the moss a lot more than the grass. And I think I inherited that from her, along with the love of daylilies. This is great. Daylilies, of course, are for sun, so don't put your moss next to your daylilies. I've been watching my conifers here the last few days to see how much sun they're getting, and I really feel like I chose good spots for them. I think we're really going to see them getting enough sun, enough water. It is wonderful to have the irrigation on now too. What a difference that makes. And fortunately, we've had a ton of rain, and the garden has liked that immensely so far. But boy, I love knowing that if it gets dry, I can turn that on. Okay. Now the tricky thing, I think the squirrels are probably sitting off to the side going, oh, she put down something for us to play in tonight. That is going to be the challenge. Okay, let's do some moss over here. My cute little cypress, Snow White. I love the blue color here with that bright green against it. That is going to look fabulous as it gets bigger. Look at this. It makes me want to visit Tennessee Nursery to see where they're harvesting all their moss. I bet it's beautiful. All those different kinds of moss. Okay. Looks good. Now it says to pin these down with landscaping pins, so that's the next step. I might not be able to get them all pinned down, but as much as I can. that was a lot of work. Well, all I can say is that is all my landscape pins, so it is pinned down as well as it's going to be. Dan quickly helped me assemble a few more of the cages. Not because I think they're going to eat the conifers, but hopefully this will keep animals out at least of the inside part and turning over those pieces of moss. Now, as I went around and I pinned them down, I tried to sort of pat them flat so that the base of the moss is having contact with the dirt. That's really what you want. You want to make sure that this moss is in contact with your dirt so that it can send out some little roots and attach itself well. And it's something that I'm going to have to come out here every day. I don't know about where you live, but here we have a lot of raccoons, we have a lot of skunks, and from the small amount of moss that I already have, I know they love to take that moss and turn it over to see if there's any delicious bugs underneath. Even though they don't eat the moss, it disrupts it, and as we're trying to get this to really stay planted here, we want to keep it as flat as we can. But I'm going to keep after it, and even if half of this takes, that will be great because we know moss will spread in the right environment. I am so excited about this. So TN Nurseries are not a sponsor of this video and my moss excitement here. However, thank you so much for sending the moss and having that option available to us to order online. It really is making this garden a lot of fun. Now, as I put this down, I have to tell you, the cushion moss, oh my goodness. If you are a sensory person, it makes these little puffy mounds and you just want to sit there and pat them. Awesome. I might have to order more, I have to admit. So I'm going to water now and I'll keep you posted on how this works out. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.